Ameid is one of the most versatile DPS units this game has ever introduced. If you thought Camellia was flexible with her ability to switch between single target pressure and AoE coverage, Ameid takes that idea several steps further. She does not just adapt to different situations, she actively asks what kind of damage dealer you want her to be. Once that choice is made, you can build teams that directly amplify that specific damage profile. While Ameid is fully capable of blending both damage modes on her own, the right supporting cast is what turns that flexibility into real power. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sa inyong lahat? This guide is about building Ameid's best teams based on damage type and role focus without locking you into a single correct answer. Because the truth is, Ameid works in almost everything. The real question is how far you want to push one side of her kit, and which teammates actually unlock what her resonance modes are capable of. Before we jump into the deep, if you need some help with farming asteroids, check out my loot bar link in the description and pinned comment for cheaper than in-game top-ups. Loot bar offers up to 25% discounts, plus an extra 10% off when you use my link. It's definitely much cheaper than in-game top-ups. It is widely used by WUWA players, has strong Trustpilot ratings, and supports DIY top-ups on your PC or mobile, where you get the discounts without sharing your password to do it. If you are looking to top up and save big, Loot Bar is a straightforward and secure way while supporting the channel. So, let's get back to it. At the core of Ameid's design is her mecha transformation and her ability to shift between two identities. One is Resonance Mode Tune Rupture, which leans heavily into tune break-focused single-target damage. The other is Fusion Burst, which turns her into a walking AoE disaster. Both modes are viable in general content. Both modes clear endgame just fine. But when you start building teams with intent, the difference in output becomes very noticeable. If we are talking about the safest and most complete Aemeath team possible, the answer is simple: Lynae and Mornye. These two were practically engineered to sit next to Aemeath and let her kit fully breathe. This team does not force you to choose between tune break damage or fusion burst damage. You get both, and you get them at their highest ceiling. Lynae is the real key here. She provides tune shifting and interfered, which allows Ameid to extract the full value of tune break interactions. Every tune break response hits harder, scales better, and feels more consistent. Without Lynae, Ameid can still access Tune Rupture, but it feels restrained, like you're driving a sports car stuck in traffic. Mornye's role is different, but just as important. She accelerates tune break response speed, which smooths out Ameid's rotations and keeps damage flowing. She also acts as a trigger catalyst for Fusion Burst, meaning she helps Ameid stack and detonate fusion damage more reliably. Even at S0, Mornye contributes a lot to the team's rhythm and pacing. That said, it's important to be clear about expectations. Mornye alone does not unlock Ameid's full tune break destruction. Without Lynae, you will feel that ceiling. However, Mornye brings something else to the table that people often underestimate. At S1, when she applies the interfered marker, she can amplify Ameid's damage by up to 40%. That's a massive multiplier, and it applies regardless of which resonance mode Ameid is using. Both Lynae and Mornye also provide universal damage amplification through their outros. Lynae, in particular, buffs all damage and liberation damage, which aligns perfectly with Ameid's burst-heavy playstyle. When you put all of this together, this trio allows Ameid to swap freely between Tune Rupture and Fusion Burst without feeling like you're sacrificing anything. If you want to experience Ameid exactly as her kit was intended, with full access to both damage identities, Lynae and Mornye together are not optional. They are the ideal. Of course, reality exists, and not everyone has both units. If you are missing Lynae, the next best option is to replace her with someone who amplifies resonance liberation. Changli is the first name that comes up because her outro provides both fusion damage and liberation buffs. That combination works extremely well with Ameed's burst windows. Zhang Xin is another solid alternative, thanks to her liberation-focused outro and overall utility. If survivability or consistency is your concern, Shorekeeper and Verena are always safe picks. They provide universal damage buffs, healing, and stability. Shorekeeper goes a step further by adding crit-related bonuses, which Eymeet appreciates regardless of build direction. If Lynae is present, but you are missing Mornye, then Shorekeeper or Verena again become your top replacements for sustain. Another aggressive option is Brant, who leans harder into fusion damage and helps push Ameid further toward her AoE identity. Chisa is also a viable pick here, mainly due to her ability to apply Havoc Bane and shred enemy defense through Threat of Bane. Chisa's synergy with Ameed is one of the most discussed topics right now, and for good reason. On paper, defense shred is always valuable. In practice, there are still unanswered questions. We know Chisa reduces enemy defense, but how that interacts with Ameed's fusion burst mechanics is not fully confirmed. Regular Fusion Burst automatically activates once 10 stacks are reached. There is also a line in the kit that suggests higher stacks lead to bigger Fusion Burst damage, but the scaling details are vague. Resonance Mode Fusion Burst, on the other hand, is manually triggered, giving the player control over when the explosion happens. The big question is this: if Chisa increases the stack cap by 3, does the system adjust the automatic trigger from 10 to 13, or does it still force detonation at 10 stacks? If the former is true, Chisa could meaningfully increase Ameed's regular fusion burst damage. If not, her value leans more toward general damage amplification rather than direct fusion scaling. This is something we will have clearer answers to as more testing comes out. Now, let's talk about Monofusion teams, because this is where Ameed becomes something else entirely. In Monofusion comps, Ameed is not just flexible, she's the centerpiece. Monofusion Ameed absolutely requires Lupa. There is no way around this. Lupa is the backbone of Monofusion teams and the primary reason the archetype works at all. Without her, you're not really playing Monofusion. You're just stacking fusion characters and hoping for the best. The core Monofusion team is Ameed, Lupa, and Mornye. This setup allows Ameed to still access some Tune Rupture while heavily emphasizing fusion burst damage. The Tune break side will not reach the heights you get with Lynae, but it remains functional and useful. If you have Lupa but not Mornye, Brant becomes the next best option to keep the fusion theme intact. If Brant is also unavailable, you can fill the third slot with Shorekeeper, Verena, or Chisa. However, once you introduce non-fusion elements, Lupa's monofusion amplification loses efficiency. The team still works, but it is no longer optimal. If you do not have Lupa at all, my advice is simple: do not force monofusion. Ameed performs extremely well in mixed teams, and trying to imitate Monofusion without its core unit is just inefficient. When choosing who to pull or build around Ameed, look at the current and upcoming banners realistically. Lupa and Chisa are rerunning alongside Ameed, while Galbraina reruns with Luke Herson. For Ameed specifically, Lupa provides guaranteed value if you want Monofusion. Chisa offers conditional value depending on how her mechanics fully interact with Fusion Burst. Galbraina, unfortunately, does almost nothing for Ameed's kit. Mornye is also a high priority pickup if you do not already have her, especially if Brant is missing from your roster. Lynae remains the gold standard, but since she is currently unavailable, she becomes a long-term rerun target rather than an immediate solution. At the end of the day, Ameed does not demand a perfect team to function. She rewards optimization, but she does not punish experimentation. Decide whether you want her to be a precision single-target executioner, an AoE fusion monster, or a hybrid menace that does both. Build around that decision, use the supports you actually own, and she will deliver. As always, if this video resonated with you, please leave a like and subscribe. Ring that bell for massive gacha luck and maybe a sandwich. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will see you in my next video drop. Goodbye.